We need to build a wall, and it has to be built quickly.
Good morning. It is 9:06 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. Very excited for the show today. In fact, I almost jumped in on the first good morning. That's how excited I am about this program. It's a big news day. I don't know if you noticed, but there was an attempted terror attack over the weekend in New York City. Now, I know you didn't notice if you're only paying attention to the mainstream media, because the mainstream media has classified this as suspicious devices found. Oh, we found some suspicious devices outside of a conservative protest outside of Gracie Mansion. Oh, my goodness. Did the conservatives have something to do with these suspicious devices? They must have. That's the kind of framing that the mainstream media has had on this story, and it is infuriating, and I'll tell you why. A couple of my friends almost died in New York City over the weekend because of some Muslims and some bombs. Yep. Bo and Gabe, they're on the show all the time. Some of the best guys that you could ever meet. Bo just got married. Baby on the way. Almost got blown up over the weekend. Yep. No big deal. No big deal, says the mainstream media. It was just some suspicious devices found. Nothing to worry about. Sure, the suspicious devices were filled up with bolts and nails and screws and explosives. But that can mean anything. They're really just suspicious devices.
You want to hear how the ABC News and others are describing the two suspects?
Pennsylvania man.
Actually, they're teenagers.
Oh.
Yeah, they're teenagers. 18
and 19-year-old.
Correct, yes.
Yeah, they're teens. They're teens. This is one of the reasons that I have an issue with the naturalization of Muslims, because Muslims think in generations, and they get over here, and then they train up their kids in the ways that they left, and then this is what we see. It's going to be a dicey situation if we ever want to actually figure out what we need to do about radical Islamic terrorism in this country. And everybody knows it. The scene on Saturday was insane. So conservative influencer Jake Lang, you've probably heard of Jake Lang. He held a right-wing protest called Stop the Islamic Takeover of New York City and Stop New York City Public Muslim Prayer. It was at 11 a.m. on Saturday. There was counter-protests that were being ramped up called Drive the Nazis Out of New York. My friends Bo and Gabe went to cover the protests in New York City. And at 12:15, they were doing just that. And they were half a block away from where Amir Balat, the teenager, decided to throw a suspicious device that he had ignited. The device, a bit smaller than a football, appeared to be a jar wrapped in black tape, most importantly packed with nuts, bolts, screws, along with a hobby fuse that could be lit. Then he got a second device from Ibrahim Nick, a 19-year-old. This is just a teenager. This, it's harmless, just teenager things. And then both Balat and Nick were arrested, and the devices are being investigated. Then more devices were found around New York City. Interesting. And the mainstream media is running away from this story as quickly as humanly possible. In fact, Ugandan Muslim mayor Zoran Mamdani was giving a press conference just this morning. And he starts off his press statement about the Muslim terror attack by saying condemning white supremacy. This is what he decided to do with his time this morning. Zohran Mamdani, even though it has been absolutely exposed that these were radical Islamic terrorists, he got out there and as he started off his press conference, he wanted everyone to know about the evils of white supremacy. You cannot make this stuff up. A couple of my friends almost died over the weekend, and it's like, yeah, white supremacy, am I right? And it's like, no. This is what's so infuriating about this whole thing. You have the mainstream media accentuating racism and hiding radical Islamic terrorism. Oh, gee whiz, Jake Lang says some mean things. It's like the Muslims threw a bomb. They threw a freaking bomb. And even this morning, even with all the extra information that we have been able to glean over the weekend, Zohran Mamdani wants to talk about white supremacy.
We're home at the time. This was a vile protest rooted in white supremacy entitled Stop the Islamic Takeover of New York City. I'm the first Muslim mayor of our city. Anti-Muslim bigotry is nothing new to me, nor is it anything new for the 1 million or so Muslim New Yorkers who know this city as our home. While I found this protest appalling, I will not waver in my belief that it should be allowed to happen. Ours is a free society where the right to peaceful protest is sacred. It does not belong only to those we agree with.
So he gets out there and he starts talking about white supremacy and then says, you know, we believe in peaceful protest, even these bad ideas. What are we? We're 30 seconds into his opening statements. And he hasn't mentioned the Muslims that threw the bomb? Huh. Weird. I wonder why conservative Americans are protesting the Islamic takeover of New York City. Could it have anything to do with the radical Muslims in the streets throwing bombs? Probably not. Probably not, right? Probably not.
Belongs to everyone. I will defend that right every day that I am mayor, even when those protesting say things that I abhor. Let me also be clear about something else. New York City will never tolerate violence, whether from protests or counter-protests. Many of the counter-protesters met this display of bigotry peacefully, with a vision of a city that is welcoming to all. But a few did not. Two men, Amir Balat and Ibrahim Kayumi, traveled from Pennsylvania and attempted to bring violence to New York City. They are suspected of coming here to commit an act of terrorism. There is video of these two individuals throwing two devices towards the protest. The police department has determined that these were improvised explosive devices made to injure, maim, or worse. Thanks to the swift and decisive actions of NYPD officers at the scene, both men were immediately taken into custody, and the devices they brought taken off of our streets.
What was their ideology? What motivated them, Mr. Mayor? Nothing. This is after Zohran Mamdani put out a statement over the weekend. Once again, the statement condemned white supremacy. This is after two Islamic men attempted to throw IEDs at the crowd. And just to be fair, it wouldn't have just taken out my friends Bo and Gabe, who probably wouldn't be here with us had that device gone off. But by the grace of God, that device didn't go off. I texted those guys right away. I was like, oh my gosh, you had divine intervention that day. I mean, you can see in the videos as he throws this device, like Bo is in the background. Like he's right there. Insane. But we watch this go down, and then the media just looks the other way. Time and time again, I've seen it reported as, "Oh, these were found near Gracie Mansion," like making it seem like it was conservatives that placed them there. Oh, a suspicious device was found during a conservative protest outside Gracie Mansion. Headline after headline like that. It's infuriating. And immediately in the aftermath, Zohran Mamdani blames white supremacy. Luckily there, he's at least mentioning the suspects' names. He's mentioning that it was an IED. He's owning up to some of it. But again, he's not going to address the ideology, and he's not going to address what radicalized these individuals. But it wasn't long after his statement over the weekend where he just decried white supremacism that the Daily Mail put out a headline that said, 6 arrested after homemade nail bombs launched at the home of New York City mayor. It's like, no. It was launched at the Christian conservatives who were protesting Islam in America. Oh, yeah, it's that hateful rhetoric, Oh, it happens. We can't, words. Like the Muslim guy threw a bomb at him. He threw a bomb at them. And the media describes it as bombs launched at the home of New York City mayor. Oh, must have been the conservative Christians angry about Muslims, right? It wasn't long before the NYPD came out and they corrected the record on exactly what happened. And I'm thankful that they did, because it seemed like the media and the politicians weren't going to do what the NYPD did at a press conference on Saturday.
At approximately 12:38 p.m., a counter-protester, identified as Amir Balat, an 18-year-old man, lit and threw an ignited device toward the protest area, landing in the crosswalk of East 87th Street and East End Avenue. Witnesses reported seeing flames and smoke as it traveled through the air.
Radical Islamic terrorism. He is not a counter-protester. He is a terrorist. He's a terrorist. This is what terrorists do. And he would have taken out the leftists that were protesting to keep him here, just as much as he would have taken out the Christians that were protesting his place in this country. Crazy. And the leftist protesters are still online trying to spin this. The politicians are still doing press conferences trying to spin this, and the media is trying to brush this under the rug as quickly as humanly possible. Did you know Jake Lang is so hateful? He is such a bigot and such a racist. And I find myself going, okay, even if that's true, even if we're operating from a standpoint of Jake Lang is a vile human being, did he throw a bomb? Did he throw a bomb? No, he didn't. Yet Zohran Mamdani, again, only wants to decry white supremacy. Jake Lang was asked about the comments from the mayor later on that day.
The distance you are to me, about 3 feet in front of me, and I saw the fuse, it was smoking, and I thought my life was over right then and there. And by God's grace, I immediately acknowledged the Lord's hand in protecting me and protecting all my right-wing Crusader brothers, Christian brothers that were with me. And immediately I cried out and called upon God for his saving grace. And, we knew exactly, I didn't see the guy who threw it, but I knew exactly who threw it. It was a Muslim. And they want to kill us because I'm a Christian and I speak my mind in this country. New York was built by white Christian men. Okay, and now it is being taken over and destroyed by Muslims and socialists. And so we need to defend our country.
Oh my gosh, what he says is so hateful and so vile. Also a bit true. I mean, there's that. It's also true. We can't allow somebody like this to speak. Wow, words are violence. Well, okay, what about the bomb? What about the bomb? The media attempted to cover this up. Again, NBC put out a story where they said multiple arrests made after suspicious devices found outside Gracie Mansion, home of Zohran Mamdani, during anti-Islam rally and counter-protest. That is an actual headline that NBC New York posted on Twitter. Multiple arrests made after suspicious devices found outside Gracie Mansion, home of Mayor Zohran Mamdani, during an anti-Islam rally and counter-protest. What are you going to believe happened if all you get is that headline? You're going to think that these evil, white, conservative Christians were throwing explosive devices at the Muslim mayor's home, which is not what happened at all. The bombs were thrown at the anti-Muslim protesters, not by the anti-Muslim protesters. This story's going to disappear so quickly. Everybody knows it. MS Now, they got on the air, and they had a segment with Al Sharpton and Democrat Rep. Meeks. And during this entire segment, I want you to listen to this because you're never told which side threw the bombs. You're never told what the suspects' names are. And you're never told what they yelled. Western Lensman posted this clip, and he nailed it. He absolutely nailed it.
Yesterday, during clashes in New York City between anti-Islam demonstrators led by conservative influencer Jake Lang and a much larger group of counter-protesters, a lit device was thrown just outside of the official residence of Mayor Zohran Mamdani. And today the chief of police said that it was, in fact, an improvised explosive device that could have caused serious injury. What are your thoughts of the growing fear of political violence, especially in this election year, Congressman?
I am very concerned. Political violence has no place in our society. It destroys our democracy and the very things that we stand for. As you've indicated, Reverend Sharpton, we just came back from Chicago, where we celebrated the life of the Reverend Jesse Lewis Jackson, and how he talked about everybody's somebody, and you got to love somebody, you got to keep hope alive, you got to keep this democracy alive, and you got to work. We cannot condone violence. Violence is something, and hate has to stop.
Hate has to stop. I mean, again, you can hear it the way they explain it. They don't mention the suspects' names. They lean into the protest coverage. They make it seem like it was the protesters that threw the IEDs. Hate has no place in America. Well, you guys imported all the people that are throwing the bombs, so is that still cool with that? Still cool. So, yeah. Listen, man, by the grace of God, that device didn't go off. By the grace of God, I was able to speak with my friends over the weekend. Today's show would have been completely different had that bomb gone off. And, I spent a lot of time over the weekend thinking about what that would have looked like, and I don't want to spend any more time thinking about what that would have looked like. By the grace of God, Bo and Gabe, just two of the nicest guys you could ever meet. They're still here. But things could have been very, very different over the weekend had that bomb gone off. We'll talk a little bit more about this. A lot of the media reports are trying to hide who threw the bomb. But CNN, of all places, actually started telling the truth about the suspects. I'll bring you that audio on the way. Plus, we'll take some of your phone calls at 615-737-9986. It's 9:23. This is Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here for my friends at Zero Res Nashville. As a husband, a dad, 4 kids, 2 dogs, I'm always looking at things that can make the house healthier, especially this time of the year. We're coming out of cold and flu season, and I'll be honest, baseball season starting. My carpets are about to get wrecked. This is why we always bring in Zero Res. What stood out to me is they don't use harsh chemicals or soaps that leave residue behind. That means the carpets are clean, but also safe for the family and pets, which fits right in with the whole Maha idea of keeping our homes healthier. The difference is obvious right away. The carpets look better, feel softer, dry faster than any cleaning you've ever had done before. Now, clearly, I'm not the only one noticing. They've got thousands of reviews and one of the best ratings in Nashville, and right now, they're running 2- and 3-room carpet specials, so call 615-535-9376 or go to ZeroResNashville.com and have them work up a custom quote for your home. 615-535-9376. Trust me, if your house looks like mine after a few baseball practices, it's worth it. ZeroResNashville.com. 929 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, how are you? My name is Chris Hand. The phone lines are open, 615-737-9986. That's the number to call. That's the number to text. You can also jump in the chat on the YouTube channel. Hit subscribe while you're there. We got a lot to get to. We're going to keep diving into the terror plot that could have been over the weekend in New York City. We'll also talk about what happened on that flight from Nashville. We'll talk about what happened at the Kansas City airport. It does seem like America is a bit on edge right now when it comes to radical Islamic terrorism. I think we should be paying attention to this. More attention than the mainstream media has been paying. I was shocked over the weekend, though. CNN, of all places, actually covered the bombing attempt in New York City with a bit more integrity than I had expected. I'll play you what CNN said on the way. We'll also talk about what exactly can be done about radical Islamic terrorism in the country. Chip Roy slamming Muslim migration to America after what happened in New York City over the weekend. Then we'll dive in a little bit more on the way. A lot to get to. A little bit of time. 9:31. It's Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Good morning. I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. And a passenger on board a Southwest Airlines flight that was acting suspiciously and praying loudly in a foreign language caused such a scare the pilots decided to divert that flight and arrest the man. That flight departed Nashville on its way to Florida, but when it diverted to Atlanta, a tactical unit boarded the flight.
Oh my God, oh my God. Heads down.
As officers there yelling to keep your head down and your hands up. They were yelling, and the man there was arrested. The passengers were able to board another flight to Florida. Turns out they released that man. They said that he was not an official threat to that flight. Also, at Kansas City Airport, Channel 4's Steve Mailing says there was another threat. This one caused officials to evacuate the entire airport.
FBI Director Kash Patel posted to X, not sharing what the threat was, but only that it was investigated and unsubstantiated. The airport's aviation department told KCTV it was a potential device inside the airport and the parking garage. Planes were rerouted, and passengers in planes that had already landed were evacuated right there on the runway.
And it happened on Sunday around midday. About 127 flights were delayed. Leftist agitators have teamed up with Democrats, and they spent the weekend targeting big corporations that do business with the Department of Homeland Security. In particular, they demonstrated outside AT&T storefronts around the country, including in Nashville, demanding that the company drop contracts with DHS.
Tearing neighborhoods apart, and what we're saying is collectively no to AT&T and other corporations that are in bed with ICE.
AT&T has longstanding multi-million-dollar contracts with DHS for critical communications, 5G networking, and data analytics tools for ICE and CBP. These actions come in conjunction with Democrats' refusal to provide funding for DHS, forcing the Coast Guard and TSA employees to work without pay. That is the latest news. We've got your weather next. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News.
Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here for my friend Aaron Parker over at Parker Safes and Vaults in Shelbyville. And if you got firearms, jewelry, important documents, maybe even some precious metals at home, ask yourself one question. And the question is, are they actually protected? Before you buy whatever safe happens to be on sale at a big box store, talk to the experts, the pros at Parker Safes and Vaults in Shelbyville. They carry trusted names like Rhino Metals and Liberty, but also high security safes from manufacturers like Graffunder, American Security, ISM, and Incas. These are safes designed to protect your valuables from real world threats, theft, and fire. Not just safes that look good on a showroom floor. These guys are based in Shelbyville. They serve all of Nashville, all of Tennessee, and even the surrounding states. You're not going to go wrong with Parker Safes and Vaults. Pick out your safe now. Go to their YouTube page and find a detailed video review of every safe they have in stock. Just search Parker Safes on YouTube or pick up the phone and call Aaron today. 931-842-6445. ParkerSafes.com is the website. Don't wait until it's too late. Protect what matters with Parker Safes and Vaults. ParkerSafes.com. 38 minutes past the hour on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, how are you? It's Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by our friends at Better Water LLC. You can listen to the show anywhere. iHeart, TuneIn, the FM dial. You can watch the show. That's on Super Talk TV, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, but the big ones, YouTube and Rumble. Hit the subscribe button. Help us grow that digital footprint of the radio station. We appreciate you doing so. The attempted terror attack over the weekend in New York, not getting any amount of attention it deserves. Couple of radical Muslims throwing bombs at anti-Islam protesters. But if you listen to the media, they would have you believing something completely different happened, actually. The way the media has been framing it is that it was the conservatives who brought those devices, and they were found near Gracie Mansion, the residence of Zohran Mamdani. It's the governor's mansion in New York. And a couple of our friends were there, Bo and Gabe, who are on the show quite often, Nashville, Tennessee residents, Turning Point USA reporters with Frontlines. They were covering the protest. And had that bomb gone off, today would be a very different show. It just would. Bo and Gabe probably wouldn't be with us anymore. It's crazy. Like, it's just mind-numbing to wrap my head around that. We almost lost Bo and Gabe. Legitimately. I mean, you saw the picture. I sent it to Mason. I texted him over the weekend. I was like, well, Bo and Gabe almost got blown up.
Yeah, I sat stunned for a good 10 minutes.
It's like, holy crap, dude.
Yeah.
Like, what is the world coming to? So, yeah, a couple friends, couple of buddies down there. And the thing is crazy, too. It's like, Bo and Gabe weren't involved in the protest. They were covering the protest. And even leftists that were involved in the counter-protest would have been caught in that crossfire as well. So the people that the leftists are defending and say have a right to be here almost blew them up. Make it make sense. Can anybody make sense of that? And they'll still defend those radical Muslims today and say, this is fine. This is fine. Refugees welcome. Remember? Hashtag refugees welcome. Crazy. And then you get MS Now, Reverend Al Sharpton. He's framing it like this.
During clashes in New York City between anti-Islam demonstrators led by conservative influencer Jake Lang and a much larger group of counter-protesters, a lit device was thrown just outside of the official residence of Mayor Zohran Mamdani. And today the chief of police said that it was, in fact, an improvised explosive device that could have caused serious injury. What are your thoughts of the growing fear of political violence, especially in this election year, Congressman?
I am very concerned. Political violence has no place in our society. It destroys our democracy and the very things that we stand for. As you've indicated, Reverend Sharpton, we just came back from Chicago, where we celebrated the life of the Reverend Jesse Lewis Jackson, and how he talked about everybody's somebody, and you got to love somebody, you got to keep hope alive, you got to keep this democracy alive, and you got to work.
We'll talk about Jesse Jackson's funeral here in a little while, but the way MS Now is covering the attempted bombing of conservative Christians peacefully I thought they were fans of peaceful protests. It's just abysmal. It's disgusting. It's vile. And I'm not just saying that because Mason and I almost had a couple friends blown up. Like, that's not. It's just gross when you see the level of coverage. And I was actually I wasn't surprised by the way MS Now covered it. I wasn't surprised by the Daily Mail headlines or the NBC headlines that tried to paint the picture that conservatives were the one that threw the IED. I was actually much more surprised when CNN started telling the truth.
Multiple sources telling CNN that both men that were arrested following these protests in relation to those two explosive devices admitted to having been inspired by ISIS. Now, I also want to add that last night when the police commissioner briefed the media on this incident, she did say that the investigation was still underway, and she emphasized that so far there appeared to be no nexus to the situation unfolding in Iran. So I just want to mention those two things right off the bat, because we are learning that while these two men said that they were inspired by ISIS, the commissioner did say last night that this incident did not specifically have a nexus to Iran. However, she did say the investigation is ongoing.
No specific nexus to Iran. Just regular radical Muslim things? Is that kind of what they're going with? It sounds like that's what they're going with. It's just regular radical Muslim things. Now, Bill Maloogian has been covering the story on Fox News, and it has been revealed that the attempted Muslim bombers in New York City, they had parents come to America through the Middle East and become naturalized citizens, one of them via Afghanistan. And this brings us to a bigger conversation. Muslims radicalized coming to America thinking generationally and aspiring to take over America. And I don't, that's not hyperbole. I think that's exactly what we're witnessing.
Amir Balat and Ibrahim Qayyumi are now reportedly in federal custody being interviewed by the FBI in connection to the devices. Our Bill Maloogian has learned that Balat's parents are naturalized U.S. citizens from Turkey and Qayyumi's parents are naturalized citizens from Afghanistan. One of the suspects was captured saying this as he was taken into custody.
Ah, yes, Allahu Akbar, says American is apple pie. I mean, that's what they'll say, right? Oh, these were American citizens. These were American citizens. What are you talking about? Well, I would just say their parents came through the Middle East. They were naturalized here. Okay. How? And then, well, what do we do about it? I mean, clearly they didn't raise them up in a Western framework. If they think that it's okay to throw IEDs and scream Allahu Akbar at the conservative Christians protesting their political ideology that's disguised as a religion, I mean, it's terrifying. This could happen anywhere. And we all know it. And these radical Muslims, they're not like you and I. They don't think politically in 2 and 4 year cycles. They think in generations. And we've heard them on tape time after time after time. We'll just outbreed you. We'll just outbreed you. And at a certain point, there'll be enough of us where we're going to gain control. Is New York dealing with that right now? It feels like it's already dealing with that. Now, I know that these two drove all the way from Bucks County, Pennsylvania to go at this protest. But how long have they been planning this? How many more are like this? I'd wager it was a lot in a long time.
So the confirmed IED, the one that we know has been tested and confirmed to be an explosive, well, that was thrown yesterday afternoon outside Gracie Mansion during a clash of protest. The initial protest was called Stop the Islamic Takeover of New York City, Stop New York City Public Muslim Prayer, and was ordered.
That one that was confirmed to be an IED, that's the one that landed near Bo and Gabe. Bo Diddle, Gabe Victal, they're on the show all the time. Bananas. Absolute bananas. By the grace of God, divine intervention that IED didn't go off. I paused over the weekend and I just thanked the good Lord that those guys are okay. Because we could be having a completely different conversation right now. Chip Roy, he understands the kind of conversation that we could be having today because of these radical Islamic terrorists. And he slammed Muslim migration into America because of it. And for this, Chip Roy, I thank you. Chip Roy is absolutely on point here.
Congressman, I hope you've been hearing our conversation with Paul Moore about what's going on here in New York City. We saw an attack in your state last week in which a man with an Iranian shirt killed 3 people. How concerned should Americans be about the increase in threats, especially given this Democrat DHS shutdown? Not a great time.
Yeah, first of all, I've been able to hear all of this, and it's deeply concerning what's going on in New York City. Today's turn of events in finding the device there in the automobile, not far from the governor's mansion. Then after what happened yesterday with those two IEDs, let's be very clear. I mean, Mamdani won't say it, but these were two Muslims who were shouting, Allahu Akbar, and we know what the motive there is. And so in Austin, Texas, as you mentioned, just a couple of weeks ago, we had that event where we had the loss of life. We had University of Texas students, a Texas Tech University student, others who were killed. And, we're dealing with somebody who had a sweatshirt that said property of Allah, had a, Quran in the back of his car, and was wearing an Iranian flag t-shirt. Again, you don't really have to do a deep level of investigation to look and see what the motives are here.
No, I mean, and you don't in New York either, but they'll say, well, we're still investigating. It seems rather unclear what the motivations were. We don't know what the ideology was, and we'll investigate it. It's going to take a while, probably just as long as it'll take you to forget to ask questions about it. But we're looking into it. Don't worry, we promise.
You saw what happened on the airplane where there was, death to America, death to Donald Trump. Look, when you've imported 18,000 people that are affiliated with terrorists, as happened under the Biden administration with illegal aliens coming here or through other programs, when you've allowed almost 5 million people to be imported into the United States since 9/11 from majority Muslim countries, then you're going to have a problem here at home. So the president's doing a great job. We're taking the fight to, obviously, what has been an evil regime in Iran that has been destabilizing to the world, a threat to our national security. I'm glad he's doing it, targeting the conventional weapons, targeting the nuclear weapons. Importantly, standing strong to defend our interests against Iran.
We're going to talk more about the situation in Iran later in the show. We'll talk about the explosions and the hits on the oil-filled facilities and all that. We got a lot to talk about on that front. But to his point, the amount of Muslims that we've imported since 9/11, could you imagine for a second, it's September 12th, 2001, and you walk up to a New York City firefighter who is just pissed about the events of the day before, and you say, hey, guess what? 25 years, we'll have a Muslim mayor, we'll have Muslims throwing bombs on the street, and we'll have the media blaming conservatives. Any idea what that reaction would be like? Disbelief? Anger, perhaps? I think both would be fair. We need to have a real conversation in this country about radical Islam. Spoiler alert, it's just Islam. 950, Super Talk, 99.7, WTN. Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here for my friends at USS, United Structural Systems. You know this, and every homeowner knows this. When your foundation is compromised, nothing else is going to feel right. And your foundation may have been compromised a couple weeks back. We had some severe weather. Winter Storm Fern came in, and a lot of heavy moisture, a lot of freezing. And when those freezing temperatures come down, the water hits your foundation. And then we went through the thaw-freeze cycle, and that really hurts your foundation. This is why so many homeowners are calling United Structural Systems today, because these guys know exactly how to handle the problems with your foundation. They've been doing it since 1994. 30,000 satisfied customers. Thousands of Tennessee families have been helped with the repair and protection of their foundation after storms. The focus of USS is doing the job right the first time, so you can feel confident in your home again. But USS is more than a foundation company. This month, they're taking place in their 10th Habitat for Humanity build in Ashland City. 25 volunteers helping frame and install roof trusses for a family in need. This tells you everything you need to know about this company. They do the work because they care about the people. Visit USSTN.com or call 615-488-7855, 615-488-7855. United Structural Systems, USSTN.com.
Hey, this is Pastor Al, and join us on Super Talk 99.7, Sunday evenings from 7 to 8. We're going to look at the news from a biblical perspective.
Up ahead, we're going to hear what the pilot had to say about a scary incident on a plane that departed from Nashville this weekend. Also, what caused a deadly crash on I-24 last night? It closed down the roadway for a while. It's all coming up here at 10 o'clock on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
That's Joan Jones in the newsroom. My name is Chris Hand, 957 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Show's brought to you by Better Water LLC, as always. And you can find me on every social media platform that matters at ChrisHandOnAir. That's at ChrisHandOnAir. So the Nashville stuff is insane, too. And the Kansas City airport stuff is insane, too. And it does feel like this country's a bit on edge. Is it just me?
Nope.
And thinking like it feels like the country's a bit on edge?
It's a little crazy right now.
It's a little wild, huh?
Mm-hmm.
And don't worry, it could be worse. So, great. Just let's be optimistic. It could absolutely be worse. The videos coming out of that plane that departed Nashville, unreal. This is the moment that SWAT boarded the plane. If you're watching this on Super Talk TV, you'll see the video. They're yelling, "Hands up, heads down. Hands up, heads down." And everyone on the plane just complying. Daily Wire has the report. Southwest Airlines flight traveling from Nashville to Fort Lauderdale diverted to Atlanta on Friday night after a possible security concern. The footage from the incident, as you're seeing here on your screen on Super Talk TV, on YouTube and Rumble, shows passengers inside the plane seated with their heads down and hands up as Atlanta police travel to the back of the plane. A man is then removed from his seat and in handcuffs. So what was the issue? Apparently, this guy kept having a cell phone timer go off every few minutes, and he was aggressively praying.
In a foreign language, but they're not saying what the foreign language was.
I mean, do they have to at this point?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. I don't think so either. Few thousand miles away in Kansas City, their airport got completely evacuated because of a terror threat, though operations quickly resumed to normal, but the videos coming out of that were just as insane. Travelers were evacuated. They were told, okay, we're going to get you off the plane and then walk that way across all the runways towards the back fence. And everybody's like, wait, what? They're like, yeah, just keep walking and get as far away from the airport as humanly possible. And you'll see videos from the Kansas City airport on your screen on Super Talk TV, Facebook and Rumble. That's a lot of people out there on the tarmac. And it says, we were brought to an underground sheltered area that was then deemed unsafe, uncleared, And we all got brought outside behind a red line. And they're like, okay, just grab your bag and just start walking. Who wants to fly right now? Does anybody want to fly right now? I'll be honest. My wife, a family member died. My sister-in-law, her dad passed away. Rest in peace, Mr. Felon. And my wife is like, okay, I'm going to have to go down there for the funeral service. And we were looking at flights over the weekend. And it was like, you know what? How about you just drive? She's like, yeah, I'm probably just going to drive. It's probably the better move. I was like, yeah, I think so. I think so. It's 10:01. This is Super Talk, 99.7 WTN.
Good morning. I'm Joan Jones with your top stories, and we've got new audio from air traffic control after a Nashville flight bound for Florida was diverted to Atlanta. The captain of that Southwest flight telling air traffic controllers why he was coming in for a landing.
Hey, this is the captain speaking to you. We've got one passenger that was just being very suspicious, acting, had a timer going off every 10 minutes, foreign languages, worried about his bags. So everybody got kind of comfortable, and we got a 25-year flight attendant back there who was not comfortable with it. So.
Yeah, that 25-year flight veteran who wasn't comfortable with it, he said. A local Atlanta television station reported later that an FBI investigation determined there was no credible threat and no charges were filed against that one person who had been detained. An hours-long closure on I-24 near Antioch last night. It was caused by a fatal crash. Channel 4's Holly Thompson says the incident began miles away.
THB saying they were attempting to pull over the driver, but that driver kept going and ended up crashing.
And another crash in Murfreesboro shut down the roadway I-24 westbound for hours overnight. That crash involved an SUV and a tractor trailer carrying a load of vehicles. The two men who tossed homemade bombs at anti-Islam protesters in New York City have now been moved, perhaps to make a court appearance this morning as reporters shouted questions at them from across the street.
Why'd you throw the bomb? Why'd you throw it?
Now, one of them flashed the ISIS salute, even as his hands were being cuffed. He was also flashing a smile. The attack is being investigated as ISIS inspired. Both men admit that they had watched ISIS propaganda videos. We've got the latest on the Iran conflict now with ABC News.
This is a special report from ABC News. I'm Chuck Sievertson. Can you deal with this detour? That's what President Trump calls the Iran war and the resulting disruptions in higher oil and gasoline prices. All temporary, he tells ABC News senior White House correspondent Mary Bruce.
I asked him directly on the phone yesterday if he's concerned about rising gas prices, and he told me, I think it's fine. It's a little glitch. He said we had to take this detour. I knew exactly what was going to happen with this detour. The impact of this war is obviously having a huge global impact, but also on him politically.
The eldest son of the assassinated supreme leader of Iran has been elected its new leader, says ABC's Ian Pannell in Jerusalem.
The younger Khamenei is expected to follow his father's hardline policies, but President Trump dismissing him as a lightweight and an unacceptable choice, telling our Mary Bruce in an interview he needs to approve the next Iranian leader or he's not going to last long. Israel warning it would target any new leader.
This is ABC News.
And that is the latest news. Weather is next. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News.
It's 10:07 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, how are you? I'm Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by Better Water LLC. You can find me on Twitter, True Social, Instagram. What's the other ones? TikTok, China, Blue Sky, Liberals, at ChrisHandOnAir. Which one's worse? China?
China?
Or libs?
People be sexting.
Could be. It depends on the day.
Yeah, I think it depends on the day, but I think we deal with the latter a little more.
We were just recently talking about the flight that was diverted from Nashville, and Sean texted in and said, aggressively praying? Really? And I said, call in. And to his credit, Sean called in. What's up, Sean? How are you?
Hello. Yes. Good morning. It is John.
John.
No problem at all.
Oh, my apologies. What's up, John?
No. So I'm a daily listener to your show. Do enjoy the show. But I do have a question for you. And that is, would you have an issue if they were praying in Christian? Or I should say Christian prayer in English. I listen, when you have Josh Tifo on, or Tifo, you guys talk a lot about God.
Yeah.
You were talking about praying earlier for Bo, and you'll have to excuse me, I can't remember the other
Gabe.
fellow's name.
Yep.
But yeah. And so, of course, contextually on the plane, I can see how that would be fear-invoking. But the flip side to that is, the alarm going off, the prayer, not a great look, but then, cleared by the FBI as far as that's concerned. And so, yeah, I'm just curious as far as your issue with it being in a foreign language versus not.
Well, I mean, I would just say, what track record do Christians have of blowing things up?
Yeah, good question. Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, I totally, I get where you're coming from, but I would just say, okay, we're in a war with Iran. We are on high alert for sleeper cells. There was an attempted terror attack in New York City over the weekend. We had the Kansas City stuff. Like, the country's on edge. And then you got a guy who is in, a couple rows down from you, whose phone alarm keeps going off. He is aggressively, loudly praying to Allah in whatever language he was praying in. And he was, this is according to reports from inside the plane, he was sweating and continuously kept asking flight attendants where his bag was.
I did read that as well, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So, like, at a certain point, like, yeah, he was cleared, but would you rather an innocent man get taken off a plane and be cleared, or would you rather a plane blow up because you don't want to be insensitive?
And I do see that point, and I think that's where the slippery slope between, like, freedom and not come into play, because I agree with that, but that is also the argument to where it's like, if you don't have anything to hide, what are you worried about? It's like, okay, well, do we just welcome the government, into our homes for no reason? And I know that's kind of a jump there, but yeah, no, I get what you're saying. It's just, got to see both sides, I guess, which you generally do.
I mean, I do to a certain extent. I just feel like the safety of everyone on that plane is far more important than being sensitive to that one person.
Yes, and so in this context, I agree. I just think that, just exercise caution with that mode of thinking. That's not and directed at you. That's just in general.
I mean, I get where you're coming from. I just think we're at a completely different point at this very moment in this country, given the operations that are happening overseas, given the wide open southern border that was there under Joe Biden, the known terrorists that came through, the ones that got away that we don't have any idea about, and then just, there is a lot of context here that is left to the wayside when you go, well, if he was just saying, so if he was doing the rosary a little bit aggressively, would you feel the same way?
Right.
Like that's
yeah. No, I agree.
If we were getting into it with the Vatican and and they were throwing rockets at different countries, maybe we would feel the same way. I don't know.
Well, I'm sharp with you on my text, but I do love the show.
Man, I appreciate you calling in. Disagreements, go to the front of the line, 615-737-9986. I don't even think that we really disagreed. I thought we were going to disagree more, but we did. I think we ended up on the same page. So, there's that. 615-737-9986 if you want to join the conversation. One thing that I noticed over the weekend, and I don't know if you noticed this, maybe you did, Jesse Jackson's funeral was pretty political. I know. I was stunned. I actually didn't care that it was political. I kind of expected it to be political. But I do remember many on the left being rather upset at Charlie Kirk's memorial because it was so political. And I remember the mainstream media saying, it was really just a political rally disguised as a memorial service. And that's not okay. That's not cool. Where are those same leftists today after the funeral memorial service for Jesse Jackson? I don't see the same talking heads with the same talking points at all. Do you? And it's rather alarming to me. I feel like they should keep the same energy, especially because before the memorial service for Jesse Jackson Jr. actually requested that everybody leave their politics at home. Now, I understand Obama, Kamala Harris, Joe Biden, none of them got this memo, but the memo was issued, and I wonder if they have a response to this. Jesse Jackson Jr., this is before the memorial service of his father.
Dad believed that funerals were not for the dearly departed. He believed funerals were for the living. He believed that they were great gathering meetings. And no two lives in human history will have the same number of people attending their funerals, or the same people will be at their funerals, because your friends ain't my friends ain't your friends. We don't know the same people. You don't know the same people that I know. Do not bring your politics out of respect to Reverend Jesse Jackson and the life that he lived to these homegoing services.
Do not bring your politics. I don't know how he could be any more clear. He does get a little bit more clear, though.
Come respectful and come to say thank you. But these homegoing services are welcome to all. Democrat, Republican, liberal, and conservative, right wing, left wing, because his life is broad enough to cover the full spectrum of what it means to be an American.
Just for starters, I love hearing him talk about his dad like that. What a respectful way to address your father after he dies. There's like a Jordan Peterson thing. It's like, what do you want to strive to be? And it's like, be the strongest person in the room at your father's funeral. And I feel like Jesse Jackson Jr. is doing that right there. And he says, don't bring your politics. Like my dad knew everybody. His life wasn't left wing. His life wasn't right wing. It transcended that. Now you can make your arguments about whether or not that's the case. I'm not here to argue that, but the request was clear from Jesse Jackson Jr. Leave the politics out of it. Let's just celebrate my dad's life. Obama didn't get the message. Joe Biden didn't get the message. Kamala Harris didn't get the message. And I wonder why the mainstream media is ignoring the fact that they turned Jesse Jackson's funeral into a political rally when everyone was so quick to take the knives out for the Charlie Kirk memorial because it turned into a political rally. I don't hear the same energy when it comes to Obama's comments, and they were inherently political. Obama got out there and almost instantly attacked the MAGA base as bigots and bullies.
Each day we wake up to some new assault on our democratic institutions.
Oh, my gosh. Insert the eye roll.
Another setback to the idea of the rule of law. An offense to common decency. Every day you wake up to.
Every day.
To things you just didn't think.
Yeah, an offense to common decency. Like when the son of the man being honored asks you not to bring your politics to a funeral. No, that's not. No.
Where possible. Each day we're told by those in high office to fear each other and to turn on each other. And that some Americans count more than others. And that some don't even count at all. Everywhere we see greed and bigotry being celebrated and bullying
That is the most divisive president in American history, Barack Hussein Obama. The guy that was supposed to bridge the gap and make America no longer a racist nation actually ruined race relations in this country. They took a nosedive after his president. If I had a son, he'd look just like Trayvon. We're not shocked by this. And to Obama's point, everybody's so bigoted. They're being celebrated, and the bullying and the mockery masquerading as strength. And how could this happen? Someone think of the humanity. Obama made $115 million from his presidency. You know, we talk about greed. $65 million from Penguin Random House book deal. $50 million from a Netflix production deal. But Obama was lecturing you. Got it. This is the same Obama, mind you, who just a couple weeks ago was claiming that all the conservative side does is angry and divisive, and it's all the us versus them stuff. That's conservatives that do that. This was literally just last week.
The other side does the mean, angry,
demagoguery,
exclusive.
It's just the other side.
Us, them.
Oh, yeah.
Divisive politics. That's their home court.
Got it. Of course.
Our court is coming together.
Everywhere we see greed and bigotry being celebrated, and bullying and mockery masquerading as strength, we see science and expertise denigrated, while ignorance and dishonesty and cruelty and corruption are reaping untold rewards every single day. We see that, and it's hard to hope.
It's hard to hope, we hope that the conservatives see the light of day, but they're just such racist, evil bigots. I mean, what am I supposed to do? What are we supposed to do? It wasn't just Joe Biden. I mean, it wasn't just Barack Obama. Joe Biden was there as well. Joe wasn't doing too good. Not his best moment. He said that he appointed the first black Supreme Court justice. Yeah, Ketanji Brown Jackson. He appointed her to the Supreme Court with Clarence Thomas on it. I don't know if you're familiar. Also black. Also, the first black Supreme Court justice was Thurgood Marshall, 1967. He probably meant to say female, but, Joe is just a day late and a dollar short.
Appoint the first black justice to the Supreme Court. But
everybody claps. Close enough. Close enough. We're not biologists. He also told a predominantly black audience at Jesse Jackson's funeral that he's a hell of a lot smarter than they are. This is a laugh line, to be fair. A lot of people are sinking their teeth into this, but it just doesn't land. You know what I mean? It doesn't quite land.
If I told you all earlier when I was a kid I had a cleft palate or a club foot, none of you would have laughed. But it's okay to laugh at stuttering. I'm not being critical of you, but think about it. It's the one place where people think you're stupid. Oh, really? I'm a hell of a lot smarter than most of you.
You sure about that, bro? Sure. You sure about that? Kamala Harris was there as well. She also didn't get the memo from Jesse Jackson Jr. about not making this political. Though, to be fair, even if the memo had been delivered to Kamala Harris, she was probably blackout drunk and wouldn't have read it.
Let me just say, I predicted a lot about what's happening right now. I'm not into saying I told you so, but we did see it coming. But what I did not predict is that we would not have Jesse Jackson with us right now.
Oh, stunning and brave. We knew the Orange Man would wreck America, but we expected Jesse Jackson to be here to witness the Orange Man wrecking America. Heartbreaking. Jesse Jackson's son was not happy. I mean, again, before the funeral service, he said, please leave your politics at home. after the funeral service, he had this to say.
Yesterday, I listened for several hours of 3 United States presidents who do not know Jesse Jackson.
Oof. Oof.
He maintained a tense relationship with the political order, not because the presidents were white or black, but the demands of our message, the demands of speaking for the least of these, those who were disinherited, the damned, the dispossessed, the disrespected, demanded not Democratic or Republican solutions, but demanded a consistent, prophetic voice that at no point in time ever sold us out as a people. And it speaks volumes about who the Reverend Jesse Jackson was.
Not exactly impressed with Obama, Biden, Clinton, Kamala. Just taking aim at him. They didn't know who Jesse was. Accusing them of hijacking the moment to push their agenda and disrespecting Jesse Jackson's legacy. I'd agree with that. I mean, these two things are not the same, right? The left ruthlessly attacked the Charlie Kirk Memorial, but everybody there knew that there was going to be some politics involved because that was Charlie. Jesse Jackson's son says, please don't bring your politics to this memorial. And then the Democrats that show up say, no, we're going full politics. That's what disrespect looks like, folks. It's 1024. This is Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Coming up, a 7th service member killed in Iran. His remains are arriving in the U.S. tonight. Also, President Trump calls out Australia. We'll tell you what's going on there. Coming up here at 10:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
That's Joan Jones in the newsroom. My name is Chris Hand. It is 10:28 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. On the way, we got a lot to talk about. We got some updates on the SAVE Act. We also have some updates on Iran. Marco Rubio with some new statements this morning. Also, potentially a new Supreme Leader that's already injured, already hurting. Would you, if you were the next Supreme Leader of Iran, would you want to announce it? I probably wouldn't want to announce it right now.
No.
I would probably say, you know what? Let's do the whole Wizard of Oz thing. I'll be behind the curtain, and we'll just do a hologram something somewhere else. Wouldn't that be safer?
Definitely be more, it would be interesting.
We also have the price of oil flying up above $100 a barrel. We'll talk about that on the way, and why the White House isn't exactly impressed with Israel going after that oil infrastructure, which is up in flames after a major strike took place on Saturday. We'll talk about all that and more on the way. Hang out with us. It's Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Good morning. I'm Joan Jones with your top stories, and we know the identity now of the 7th U.S. service member who was killed in the Iranian conflict. He is 26-year-old Sergeant Benjamin Pennington of Kentucky. Vice President J.D. Vance speaking this morning about him in comments before a firefighters union.
If you are the praying type, and I certainly am, I hope you'll spare a prayer for the 6 souls that we lost, for the 7th soul who will be coming home tonight, and for all of their families. You all know better than almost any category of Americans what it means to put on a uniform and to sacrifice for our country.
Vance is expected to attend the dignified transfer tonight. 5 months after a Henry County man went missing, the Henry County Sheriff's Office says the remains recovered in February have been confirmed to be that man. They say the initial attempt to find 67-year-old Billy Lynn Jr. was hampered by floodwaters. Foul play is not suspected. Last week, members of the Iranian women's soccer team stayed silent during the Iranian national anthem as it was played at a match in Australia. Well, CNN is reporting that 5 of those players have escaped the team's hotel in Australia. They're currently safe with police, but the rest of them are on a bus on their way to the airport for a flight back home. And they're flashing SOS signs from the windows. President Trump has weighed in. Here's Fox News' Bill Malugin with his statement, with the president's statement on Truth Social.
Australia is making a terrible humanitarian mistake by allowing the Iran national women's soccer team to be forced back to Iran, where they will most likely be killed. Don't do it, Mr. Prime Minister. Give them asylum.
After losing in their final match of the tournament yesterday, supporters crowded around the team bus, shouting at police to save our girls as it pulled away. On Wall Street, stocks are paring their losses. The Dow Jones Industrials, however, still down 351 points. I want to mention as well that in Murfreesboro, there is an overturned dump truck that has South Jefferson Pike closed this morning at Hedge Apple Road. And also in Jolton, 24 West is very slow this morning with the right lane blocked off for some road work. 24 West between Whites Creek Pike and Cheatham-Davidson County line. That is the latest news. We've got your weather next. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News.
36 minutes past the hour on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, how are you? I'm Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by our friends at Better Water LLC. Water filtration systems, water softeners, you get those at betterwater.com. Appreciate you being here, however you're listening. iHeart, TuneIn, the FM dial, or if you're watching us on Super Talk TV, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, and Rumble. We are up there. We are rocking as well. And shout out to everybody inside the YouTube chat. It's always unhinged. We love it. We love it. 615-737-9996 if you want to join the show. Updates in Iran. We are now, what's day 10? Day 10 of what originally is being framed as maybe a 4 to 6 week operation. We're at day 10. Day 10. Marco Rubio was addressing the latest on Iran this morning. He was at an event honoring U.S. hostages in D.C., and Marco Rubio just dropped a lot of truth nukes, if you will. Truth nukes. Talking about the current state of the Iranian regime.
Clear, and it's important to continue to remind the American people of why it is that the greatest military in the history of the world is engaged in this operation. It is to destroy the ability of this regime to launch missiles, both by destroying their missiles and their launchers, destroy the factories that make these missiles, and destroy their navy. I think we are all seeing right now the threat that this clerical regime poses to the region and to the world. They are trying to hold the world hostage. They are attacking their neighbors. They are attacking neighboring countries, their energy infrastructure, their civilian population. They're attacking embassies. This is a terrorist government. This is a terroristic regime. And we are seeing them conduct terrorism using nation-state elements, using weapons like missiles and one-way attack drones. And the objective of this mission is to destroy their ability to continue to do that. And we are well on our way to achieving that objective every single day with overwhelming force, with overwhelming precision. The military, the United States military, the men and women in uniform are conducting an extraordinary operation. There are not a lot of cameras down there covering what they're doing, as opposed to some of the other images that you may see from some of the cities and capitals nearby. But I want everyone to know your military is getting the job done. And every single day, this regime in Iran has less missiles, has less launchers, their factories work less, and their navy is being eviscerated. And the world is going to be a safer and a better place when this mission is accomplished. And we...
So that was Marco Rubio this morning, and his status report is things are going well. Things are going according to plan. We're knocking out the ships. We're knocking out the missiles. We're taking out military targets, and things look positive for America. Meanwhile, in Iran, the son of the former Iranian supreme leader was selected to be the next supreme leader of Iran, according to multiple reports. I think we talked about this last week a little bit. It was kind of bubbling under the surface that this was going to be the guy. Iran's Assembly of Experts was reported to have voted overwhelmingly to nominate the new Ayatollah Mojtaba Khamenei to be the country's supreme leader, according to Iranian state media Tasnim news agency. Mojtaba becoming the supreme leader of Iran will make him the third supreme leader of Iran, and comes a week after his father was killed in an Israeli strike on his compound in Tehran. In a post on X, Iran's Fars news agency also revealed that he will rise to power as the next supreme leader. Trump, in an interview with ABC, said, well, they better clear that new leadership with us. And I quote, saying, the new supreme leader won't last long without my approval. This is from ABC. As Iranians get closer to naming their next supreme leader, President Trump said on Sunday that the new leader is not going to last long if the Iranians don't get his approval first. Said he's going to have to get approval from us, the president told ABC News. If he doesn't get approval from us, he's not going to last long. We want to make sure that we don't have to go back every 10 years. When you don't have a president like me, that's not going to do it. He added, I don't want people to have to go back in 5 years and have to do the same thing again, or worse, let them have a nuclear weapon. When asked if he would be willing to approve someone with ties to the old regime, Trump replied, I would. In order to choose a good leader, I would. Yeah, I would. There are numerous people that could qualify. And this is kind of the topic of conversation. Are we going full regime change, or is it going to mirror what it looks like in Venezuela, where a lot of the same guys are in place, but there's a new direction that is aligned with American interests? And in Venezuela, it seems to be working very well. Is it going to work the exact same way in Iran? I don't know. I don't know about that. I don't know. We'll find out. But Trump says, you're going to have to get the green light from us. Trump is also saying, don't panic about the short-term oil spike. Posting on True Social yesterday, saying short-term oil prices, which will drop rapidly when the destruction of the Iran nuclear threat is over, is a very small price to pay for USA and world safety and peace. Only fools would think differently. Well, many Americans are seeing the prices at the pump go up, and it's definitely stressing people out a little bit. I think it's stressing Republicans out a little bit as well, as the topic of conversation heading into the midterms is going to be affordability. Could this wreck everything? Now, multiple sources are saying this is going to be a 2-week spike, but oil prices jumping above $100 a barrel for the first time in 4 years definitely perks some ears and raises some eyebrows. Breitbart has a story. Oil prices surged past $110 a barrel on Sunday evening, topping $100 for the first time in nearly 4 years as the war with the Middle East entered its 9th day with no end in sight, and the Strait of Hormuz remained effectively closed to tanker traffic. Brent crude, the international benchmark, briefly topped 110 soon after markets opened Sunday evening, while West Texas Intermediate rose to 109.05. Both benchmarks were trading around $60 a barrel in early January. President Trump on Truth Social Sunday night reassured Americans that oil prices would come down in short order. The Hormuz closure right now is forcing producers across the Gulf to throttle back output as onshore storage fills. Iraq has cut production by roughly 60% to between 1.7 and 1.8 million barrels a day from the 4.3 million before the conflict, according to reports. Kuwait declared force majeure on oil exports over the weekend, and Abu Dhabi has begun trimming output at offshore fields as well. Saudi Arabia, meanwhile, is racing to reroute crude shipments to its Red Sea port of Yanbu via its east-west pipeline, though it lacks sufficient loading capacity and tankers there to fully compensate, Bloomberg News reported. Stock futures took a hit because of this, and a lot of people are wondering, where does this go from here? And the prices are going up because, well, oil infrastructure up in flames on Saturday, thanks to our greatest ally.
Perhaps with a sign that President Trump knew what was coming tonight in the skies over Tehran. A major strike just took out a lot of Iran's oil infrastructure. A number of refineries seen caught on fire, and President Trump taking to Truth Social before the strike saying, quote, "Today, Iran will be hit very hard, under serious consideration for complete destruction and certain death because of Iran's bad behavior are areas and groups of people that were not considered for targeting up until this moment of time."
So President Trump apparently was given a heads up that they would be striking oil infrastructure, Israel. But there's other reporting out there that they didn't know the extent of how they would be striking oil infrastructure. And this is causing some friction, some are saying. Depends on who you trust. Do you trust Axios or do you trust the administration? The administration publicly saying it's going to be fine. Axios reporting something different. They're saying the U.S. is concerned Israeli strikes on infrastructure that serves ordinary Iranians could backfire strategically, rallying Iranian society to support the regime and driving up oil prices. Now, the Israeli Air Force on Saturday had some strikes that caused large fires in Tehran, igniting flames visible for miles and blanketing the capital in heavy smoke. The IDF claimed in a statement that the fuel depots are used by the Iranian regime to supply fuel to different consumers, including its military organs. An Israeli military official said the strikes were intended in part to tell Iran to stop targeting Israeli civil infrastructure. But behind the scenes, Israeli and U.S. officials said the IDF notified the U.S. military ahead of the strikes, but a U.S. official said that the U.S. military was surprised by how wide-ranging they were, saying, albeit anonymously, "We don't think it's a good idea." An Israeli official told the U.S. message to Israel was WTF. Doesn't stand for Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, by the way. The White House and push energy prices even higher. A Trump advisor, under the condition of anonymity, told Axios the president doesn't like the attack. He wants to save the oil. He doesn't want to burn it. And it reminds people of higher gas prices. I mean, the images are dark, dude. Did you see the video? I'm going to play the video for you on YouTube and Rumble. This is one of the added benefits of watching Boinafits.
Boinafits?
It's a Boinafit. Oi! We're spiking the video on the stream, mate. It's one of the benefits because you get the video along with the audio. But, I mean, dark skies over Iran after they hit that oil infrastructure. And it looks spooky, man. It really does. This is a sunny day in Iran, and the sky is completely blacked out.
I'll show you something, because after those fires raged, there was actually rain here in Tehran this morning. And you can see here, because this is a white car, that the rain is actually apparently saturated with oil. You can see on my finger that it's completely blackened, and that's something that's been coming down for the better part of this morning. So, of course, that's also a concern for folks here in Tehran, that there's this rain that came down that seems to be saturated with oil.
I mean, the sights are wild. Absolutely wild. And so you had the aftermath of the strikes, which we just showed you on the stream, with the black clouds, the black rain, spooky. And then there was also there's video coming out of the strikes where you have just fire. I mean, just absolute chaos, it looks like. And I'll play this for you as well. This was from Trey Yingst, the chief foreign correspondent for Fox News. He posted this video on X, and it's another one where it's like, man, we often talk and people talk about Mideast conflicts, and they're like, is this the revelation? Is this what's happening? And, I make the comment all the time, like, I don't know, and I think that there's been certain points throughout history where people could point to and be like, oh, this is revelation, the firebombing of Germany, or the bombing of London or Pearl Harbor. I could see different points in history where individuals would say, this is revelation, this is end times. But I'll tell you what, I haven't seen anything as spooky as what we're seeing come out of Iran over the weekend. And, I mean, highways shut down, flames just engulfing the skies, and it looks like pure chaos. Blackened skies during daytime, black oil-soaked rain falling and hitting the ground. Yeah, it is. It's spooky. It's spooky, to say the least. Meanwhile, the administration is saying that Iran is doing a lot of tough talking, but they can't back any of it up. Caroline Leavitt hit the weekend shows. And a lot of people are making a lot about Caroline Leavitt's comments over the weekend about not ruling anything out when it comes to troops on the ground. We'll get there, but first, Caroline Leavitt saying Iran can't back up any of the tough talk.
Ramp up the fight.
Well, the Iranians are making a lot of threats with their words, but if you look at their actions with respect to their military, they're not as strong or powerful as they were 9 days ago. That is for sure. We have completely wiped out their Navy. Their Navy is now deemed combat ineffective. Their retaliatory strikes with ballistic missiles has decreased 90%. And as their attacks are decreasing, the power and prowess of the U.S. military is increasing. And so we are going to continue to completely obliterate the rogue Iranian regime and ensure that they can never possess a nuclear weapon, that their ballistic missiles can no longer threaten U.S. personnel and our assets in the region. And the mere fact that Iran is now pointing their capabilities at their Gulf partners in the region who have tried to remain neutral and at peace with them for many years, they're targeting civilians. It just underscores the point that this operation was necessary, not just to protect the American people and our assets and troops and bases in the region, but also to ensure a truly safe and prosperous Middle East for the rest of the world. And President Trump is the first president in nearly 5 decades to actually have the courage to do this, and he should be commended for it.
President Trump does certainly have some stones, and he is not tiptoeing around this operation. Caroline Leavitt saying, with respect to their military, they're not as strong or as powerful as they were 9 days ago. That aired yesterday with Maria Bartiromo on Fox News. But there were some statements that she also made on that same show that are causing a bit of controversy online. She was asked specifically about a draft, about boots on the ground. And Caroline Leavitt said the president is not ruling anything out, which has made many a panican on the internet lose their ever-loving mind. These were the comments.
Draft, that they're going to see their sons get in and daughters get involved in this. What do you want to say about the president's plans for troops on the ground? As we know, it's been largely an air campaign up until now.
It has been, and it will continue to be, and President Trump wisely does not remove options off of the table. I know a lot of politicians like to do that quickly, but the president, as commander-in-chief, wants to continue to assess the success of this military operation. It's not part of the current plan right now, but the president, again, wisely keeps his options on the table.
That's a bit too controversial for some conservatives on the internet. That the president is keeping his options open, that the president won't say that he's not going to put boots on the ground. The president won't say that there's not going to be a draft. The president also didn't say that he wouldn't drop nukes. So does that mean nukes are incoming? No, of course not. Of course not. What Caroline Levitt is saying is that the president isn't taking anything off the table. He did rule one thing out, though. We'll talk about that on the way. Plus, I'll also tell you about this Bloomberg report. Bloomberg. Oh, my gosh. Talking's hard. I blame the time change. Just let the record show.
Justifiable.
Bloomberg is reporting about special forces going in to Iran, boots on the ground. I'll bring you that report on the way as well. A lot to talk about, a little bit of time. It's 10:52. This is Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here from my friends at Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. And when something goes wrong in your home, you want a team that's going to show up, that's going to fix it right, fix it fast, and a team that treats you like family. Well, you found them in Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. They're your trusted pros for total home comfort. Right now is the perfect time to upgrade. If you purchase a 16-SEER high-efficiency HVAC system or a whole home repipe, Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling is going to give you a free Yeti Tundra 45 cooler just in time for beach season. It's going to be perfect for by the pool, and it's going to be unbelievable. And this month only, Busy Bee has TVA rebates available for tune-ups and unit replacements so you can save some extra money. Even better, their team is going to file all the paperwork for you. So you got no hassle, no headaches, and you got more savings. Want even more savings? Join the Beehive Club. Get your membership today and keep your home humming year-round. Members get priority scheduling, discounted repairs, free annual HVAC and plumbing checks, plus extended warranties. Why wouldn't you call Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling? 615-775-7833, 615-775-7833, busybeehvac.com.
All right, we got road construction in the way, folks. Right lane blocked 24 westbound through Jolton. And look for it in Mount Juliet, Highway 109, impacting both north and southbound there between 40 and Hickory Ridge Road. And in Murfreesboro, we've got South Jefferson Pike completely blocked by an overturned dump truck there at Hedge Apple Road. Got a war on Iran update and internal emails obtained by News Channel 5 on the moments before January's ice storm and how NES was prepared. Coming up at 11 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
That's Ken Weaver in the newsroom. My name is Chris Hand. The show is brought to you by Better Water LLC. Find me on every social media platform that matters at ChrisHandOnAir. Hit the follow button. I will follow back. On the way, we'll dive more into these comments from Caroline Levitt, or non-comments, I should say. She was asked, are you looking at a draft? Are you thinking about boots on the ground? And she's like, the president doesn't take any options off the table. It's caused the internet to just lose their ever-loving minds. There's also a Bloomberg report that is out about special forces putting boots on the ground in Iran going in for the uranium. We'll talk about all that and more, plus take your phone calls as well when we get back. It's 11 o'clock. This is Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Eleven o'clock on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast in 5 minutes.
This is a special report from ABC News. I'm Chuck Sievertson. Americans pulling up to gasoline pumps are dealing with President Trump's detour when they see the rising prices due to the Iran war. That's what the president called it to ABC News senior White House correspondent Mary Bruce.
He told me, I think it's fine. It's a little glitch. He said we had to take this detour. I knew exactly what was going to happen with this detour.
Dealing with the detour, drivers in Raleigh, North Carolina.
I'm kind of afraid that it's going to go up higher in the coming weeks.
Today's the first day we've filled up since the prices changed. It was kind of a shocker.
One factor in the higher oil and gasoline prices is reluctance of owners of oil tankers to risk going through the Strait of Hormuz shipping channel. French President Macron says he's working with other countries on a purely defensive effort to escort ships once the war dies down. President Trump says the crews of the tankers should show more guts. This is ABC News.
Right now in Tennessee, internal emails obtained by News Channel 5 raising new questions about whether Nashville Electric Service was ready for January's ice storm. The messages show CEO Teresa Broyles-Applin acknowledging the threat days in advance, but then scrambling once outages mounted. Board members warned early on that restoration efforts were moving far too slowly. One Metro Council member now says the emails show, quote, amateur hour, and believes the CEO should be fired. And the General Assembly will be debating a bill filed today that requires all city-owned electric utilities to give customers living in counties outside municipal boundaries a voting seat in the utilities governing board for the county they serve. The bill, sponsored in the House by Majority Whip Clark Boyd of Lebanon, Senate Majority Leader Jack Johnson of Franklin, comes after Winter Storm Fern caused massive outages, including one of the worst in Nashville Electric Service history. NES serves customers in Davidson County and 6 surrounding counties, but its board is currently appointed only by Nashville's mayor. This bill would require a voting board member from each outside county to improve representation and accountability. And new audio from air traffic control after a Nashville flight bound for Florida was diverted to Atlanta. The captain of the Southwest flight telling air traffic controllers why he was coming in for a landing.
Hey, this is the captain speaking to you. We've got one passenger that was just being very suspicious, acting, had a timer going off every 10 minutes, foreign languages, worried about his bags. So everybody got kind of comfortable, and we got a 25-year flight that I was not comfortable with. So.
A local Atlanta television station reported later that an FBI investigation determined there was no credible threat and no charges were filed against that person who had been detained. That's the latest news. Weather's next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
6 minutes past the hour on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, how are you? My name is Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by Better Water LLC. Water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. Watch the show. Super Talk TV is up now on YouTube and Rumble. Hit the subscribe button. Help us grow that digital footprint of the radio station. We appreciate you doing so. We're well on our way to 15,000 subscribers, which is peanuts in the internet game, but we're grateful for every single one of you. And if every single listener in this audience would just make 10 or 20 YouTube profiles.
It's not that hard.
We'd be up to a few 100,000.
Easy.
In just like a couple days. It's really on you guys.
Just take your regular email and add a number on the end.
Yeah, there you go.
Easy.
It's super fast. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Hey, also, tonight, Rutherford County, we're going to have a barn burner of a debate. You ready for this?
Yeah.
Rutherford County mayoral debate and Rutherford County Sheriff debate. And you know who they got to moderate the debate?
MC Hammer?
Damn, that would have been good.
Yeah.
Missed opportunity for sure. No, I will be moderating the debate.
Ooh, let's go. Even better.
I'm excited. They said, hey, Chris, we'd love for you to moderate the debate. I was like, I'm in. They said, we also understand that we need you to understand that you'll be representing the Rutherford County GOP, the young Republicans, and the Republican women of Rutherford County. So we really need you to not say anything outlandish. And I was like touched. I was like, you guys really do listen to my show. Thank you.
You know who I am.
Like, thank you. Like, it really meant something to me. It was really like, I was like, golly. They didn't just ask me because I'm on 99.7. They listen.
They know.
They listen. So we're actually really excited about that. It's happening at the Fountains in Murfreesboro, 6 o'clock tonight. If you can't make it out to the Fountains to watch the debate in person, we are going to obtain all of the video of these debates, and we're going to post them on that YouTube channel for you, and maybe on the Rumble as well, so that way you guys can find it wherever you need it, so that way you can get a little bit more information. I don't know. Do you feel like that with, like, the local elections? You're like, all right, time to do some research, and they're like, oh, what? When's voting day? I'm like, today.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm going to do my research on the local candidates day of. Don't do that. Find out about the local candidates well before the primaries and the elections. Thank you for your attention to this matter. It's going to be fun.
Yeah.
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 And you can hear me say words like spoink
or boinafit.
Boinafit in front of a live studio audience.
Or I love the comments on the text messages about that.
Or like, which one of you are going to raise our property taxes?
Dude, we're going in on property taxes. Which one of you will spend my tax dollars for good?
Or waste them.
A lot of people want a Rutherford County fair.
Oh, well.
That would be cool.
So I'm not going to ask any questions about the landfill. I'm just going to press them on the fair.
When am I getting my funnel cakes here in Murfreesboro?
If you were to go to the Rutherford County Fair, which would be a ride you would go on and which would be a ride you would avoid? Only hard-hitting questions, I promise.
Yes, sir.
You prefer swings or roller coasters?
People want to know. People want to know.
The hard-hitting question.
Just the hard ones. That's what they signed me up for. So, yeah, that's going to be fun, though, and we're looking forward to it. Shout out to the Rutherford County Young Republicans. Shout out to Rutherford County's GOP and the Republican women of Rutherford County, the madams. I believe that they should be entitled the Republican Madams of Rutherford County. I'm the only one lobbying for that change, but I'll keep you updated on it. In the meantime, I do want to get back to what we were talking about with Caroline Levitt. She was asked a question over the weekend on a draft, on boots on the ground. Are you willing to rule it out? And she's like, no, we're not going to rule anything out. We've never ruled anything out with this administration. We're not going to take options off the table. And the internet has gone into a panic over these statements from Caroline Levitt on with Maria Bartiromo over the weekend.
Draft that they're going to see their sons get in and daughters get involved in this. What do you want to say about the president's plans for troops on the ground? As we know, it's been largely an air campaign up until now.
It has been, and it will continue to be, and President Trump wisely does not remove options off of the table. I know a lot of politicians like to do that quickly, but the president, as commander-in-chief, wants to continue to assess the success of this military operation. It's not part of the current plan right now, but the president, again, wisely keeps his options on the table.
Not part of the plan right now, she says. Not part of the plan right now. Everybody ignored that part. Did you notice that? Everybody, it's not part of the plan right now. Everybody freaked out. What? You're not taking a draft off the table? You're not taking boots on the ground off the table? I don't know. I'm of the opinion I don't think a draft is ever going to happen. I don't think that that's realistic. I don't think anybody would support it. And as far as conservatives go, I don't think any of us really support the idea of boots on the ground. I have issues even with like some of the limited boots on the ground that we're hearing about. Bloomberg put out an article just yesterday, and they say they have some insiders, but it says U.S. considers idea of special operation to seize Iran's uranium. Is this the same uranium that Hill Dog sold to Russia when she was the Secretary of State that then got sold to Iran? I don't know. I'm just asking questions. President Trump is weighing the option of deploying special forces on the ground to seize Iran's near-bomb-grade uranium as officials grow increasingly concerned the stockpile may have been moved, according to 3 diplomatic officials briefed on the matter. Again, this is from Bloomberg, and they're saying that they are weighing special operators on the ground in Iran. The U.S. and Israel struck a key nuclear facility during last June's 12-day war. Uncertainty over Iran's highly enriched uranium has intensified because it's almost 9 months since the United Nations atomic inspectors last verified its location, the officials said. They spoke on condition of anonymity to discuss restricted deliberations. They haven't been able to get to it, and at some point, maybe we will, Trump said late on Saturday during a briefing aboard Air Force One. We haven't gone after it, but it's something we can do later on. We wouldn't do it now. One of the stated aims of the attacks on Iran has been to rid the Islamic Republic of any capability to produce nuclear weapons. The strikes on the atomic facilities last year complicated the task of tracking the uranium. That's now become a live issue again for military planners, and it's unclear whether any special operation would be conducted by U.S. or Israeli forces. Publicly, U.S. officials have projected confidence that they know where it is stored. Privately, they're said to be less than certain. In the weeks before the latest U.S.-Israeli strikes, monitors from the Vienna-based International Atomic Energy Agency observed sustained activity outside tunnels built into a hillside near Isfahan, where the material was last documented before the fighting began. The activity increased the likelihood that at least some, of the 441 kilograms, 972 pounds of highly enriched uranium stored at the complex was moved, said a diplomat in the Austrian capital familiar with the agency's assessments. Would you support limited boots on the ground for a special operation to go in and get the uranium? I mean, I'm asking you, 615-737-9986. Would you support that? Or is that too close to full-on deployment for you? Is that a line in the sand that you don't want to cross? I'll be honest. I think it all depends on the how. If we go in limited operation similar to how we went into Venezuela, we break out them discombobulators again, and we lose no servicemen or women, we lose no equipment, then it's going to be a resounding success. And everybody knows it. If we go in and it is a bloody, messy fight, akin to a Black Hawk Down, then everybody's going to lose their mind. I think the risk involved in this operation is way, way, way higher than the risk that was involved in the Venezuela operation. But I'm open to what you think about it. Axios reported earlier that the U.S. and Israel were looking at potential ground forces to seize Iran's nuclear stockpile. The White House didn't respond to requests for any comment on potential plans. Trump said Saturday he didn't want to talk about ground troops, though he didn't rule out the possibility. And this was on Air Force One. He didn't rule out the possibility of ground troops, but he did rule out one thing. He ruled out the possibility of Kurds invading on the ground. And I don't know, this one shocked me because I thought that was all pretty much baked in the cake that was happening. But he said, no Kurds on the ground.
Some Iranians are concerned that the Kurds will carve out kind of an autonomous region as they did in Syria and Iraq.
We're not looking to the Kurds going in. We're very friendly with the Kurds, as you know, but we don't want to make the war any more complex than it already is. No.
You've ruled that out?
We don't want, I have ruled it out. I don't want the Kurds going in. I don't want to see the Kurds get hurt, get killed. We've had a good relation. They're willing to go in, but I've told them I don't want them to go in.
So President Trump said he ruled that out. He likes the Kurds. They're on good terms with the Kurds. But they said, I don't want you to go in and get killed. So he's concerned that the Kurds would lose their lives going into this country. Special forces operators, is that a different calculation? I mean, I'm sure the calculation changes a bit when you think about the weapons that could be used, but I kind of want to know from you guys. 615-737-9986. Let's go to Dwayne in Hohenwald. What's up, Dwayne? How are you?
Yeah, Chris, I used to be one of them back a few years ago, Special Forces.
Well, then tell me with your expertise, and thank you for your service, for starters.
You can't limit Special Forces. They're all over the world all the time. And, they can do things other people can't do.
In what kind of way? Do you mean like with how we saw them go into Venezuela?
Yeah. They can do other things, do lots of things that other soldiers just can't do,
Can you elaborate on that a little bit more with your expertise?
Well, they're all paratroopers. They're all, skilled people, pretty well skilled people, and they can just do things the rest of them can't do. They work in smaller groups, and we worked in Vietnam, and 8-man teams, 7-8-man teams.
Would you be nervous given the way Iran is kind of, laid out, sending special forces into that country in particular?
Not if they know where they're going.
Not if they know where they're going.
If they know where they're going, that's one thing. But you got to have intelligence too.
I'm with you, Dwayne, and I appreciate the call. 615-737-9986. Let's go to James in Eagleville. What's up, James?
Hey, Chris. I was just wanting to talk to you about a little history of what went on before this operation. Do you know about the history of World War II?
Yes, sir.
It all started in the 1930s with Hitler, Germany, Japan.
Yes,
they were running wild. Japan was taking over Asia. Germany was taking over Europe. And, they had these negotiations going on with Iran. You know what happened on 1941, December 7th?
Yes, sir.
And you know what the Japanese were doing while they were bombing Pearl Harbor?
Fill me in. What were they doing while they were bombing Pearl Harbor?
They were in Washington, D.C. negotiating. What was Wyckoff and Trump's son-in-law doing? They were negotiating with Iran. And what would have happened if Trump had not done anything and they had bombs about ready to go, but we struck first. The last time, Japan struck first because they were negotiating. You got to make a choice. What you going to do? And I believe Trump knew what was happening because they weren't negotiating. They were just
I mean, I think
they wouldn't agree to nothing.
I think that's been pretty well established on the show, and we're here now. So I want to win decisively and quickly. Would you support boots on the ground?
Probably, like they're saying, if they're going for the uranium and stuff, there's got to be a way to do it, just like it was in World War II when they were trying to get with Hitler with that water they used, whatever, bomb that place and go in. You got to take a chance. That's what freedom. How come we've had freedom all these years? Just like they say, freedom's not free, and sometimes it's hard.
Amen,
But
James.
You got to take a chance.
You're right, brother. I appreciate the call. Let's go to Kimberly in Sparta. What's up, Kim? How are you?
Hey, I'm doing great. I absolutely support them going in and getting the uranium. And I do have 2 children in the military, one in the Air Force and one in the Army. I don't support the boots on the ground, but I do support the special forces. I think it's a great idea. I think it's the best ideas anybody's came up with. Go get that freaking uranium, problem solved. I think we can do it.
What if
I think we're phenomenal. I think our military's phenomenal.
What if it turns out messier and bloodier than what we saw in Venezuela?
I don't think it will. I have that much faith in our military. I was in the military. My husband is in the military. Come from a military family. My kids are in the military. I absolutely trust them and have faith in them. They're ready. If they get called to go, they're going. And but getting that uranium out of there would be the best thing for this country, for our country, to get it out of there.
Well, Kim, I appreciate the call, and thank you for your service, and I'll be praying for your son and your daughter and keeping them safe over there. Thank you so much. Yes, of course. Let's go to Dave in the borough. Dave, what's up, man?
Hey, I just want to let you know that if you study the history of the Green Berets and things like that, you can tell that one of the first things that the war planners do is decide where they're going to put these special operators. And more than likely, there was probably special operators, either Israeli or United States, in country before the bombs started dropping.
Yeah,
and
I would agree with that, but I think that's different than a special forces operation to go in and take the uranium.
Well, that's probably in one of their plans. Was before they even started bombing. That's probably one of the plans that they already had, and so I would not be surprised if they have a good idea of where it is, and they're probably going to try to get it, and hopefully they can. Yeah.
Yeah, I just pray if they do go for that, it's not a messy situation. I pray that it resembles Venezuela. I fear the worst, and I think that they're preparing for the worst and hoping for the best. President Trump was asked when does Iran surrender? How do you know?
What unconditional surrender looks like to you? I mean, what do you want from Iran?
I said unconditional, not conditional. I said unconditional. It's where they cry uncle, or when they can't fight any longer, there's nobody around to cry uncle. That could happen too, because we've wiped out their leadership numerous times already. So it's if they surrender, or if there is nobody around to surrender, but they're rendered useless in terms of military.
That's what victory looks like, according to the administration. We'll keep you updated on this story as new information becomes available. Seems like every minute of every day we get more information, more puzzle pieces to put in and discuss. But it's a crazy situation. 615-737-9986. It's 11:25. This is Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
All right, drivers, construction is in the way. Mount Juliet, we've got Highway 109, both north and southbound, impacted by road work there between 40 and Hickory Ridge Road. Then in Antioch, we've got an injury crash now, Old Hickory Boulevard there at Firestone Parkway. Operation Epic Fury update coming up at 11:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
That's Ken Weaver in the newsroom. It is 11:29 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. Show is brought to you by Better Water LLC. Our friend Steven on the road, he's been waiting to chime in on the Iranian school. What's up, Steve? How are you?
Oh, hey, Chris. Thanks for taking my call. Let's put that on the back burner. I like that other question you was just asking. What was that question about there? Boots on the ground.
Do you support boots on the ground in a special forces operation capacity to get the uranium?
Well, if I got a second, can we talk about that? What that would look like?
By all means.
So we don't have an embassy. We don't have any diplomatic relations with Iran. So I think we're using Switzerland right now as a way of access for people in and out. But, SEALs, Green Berets, Marines, Army. Of course, you'll have to see the Army go in. If we're going to have boots on the ground, you're going to see a lot of military, and that's going to cost us a lot of money. But so the thing about it is I think there is going to be boots on the ground, but to a scale of what we're going to need, that's the question. That uranium is going to have to be seized one way or the other. We're not just going to leave somebody in charge that we trust with that uranium. We're going to have to find that. We're going to have, if they don't destroy it first, we're going to have to seize it. But then looking at boots on the ground, if Russia is giving them targets and using satellites, because we pretty much wiped out their capacity to do that. They can't really see us or find us within their own country if we go in with special forces. But Russia will definitely be targeting us. So that could be messy, like what you're saying. It's not going to be easy at all if we do that, and it's not going to be trustworthy. And there's forces scattered throughout the country that would amass once they find out where we're at, they're coming after us over there. So if we're going to go in like that, it's going to have to be like what Trump is calling for, an unconditional surrender, to where their military pretty much says, okay, we're done. Unconditional surrender. America comes in. We put an embassy. We put relations in there, and then we help establish their new leader, and then there can be boots on the ground. That's the easy way. The other way is the hard way, and I'm for it either way, man. I'll work till the day I die and spend every tax dollar that I have, take all my money, and use it to help our assets over there do what they can. But the question is, there's going to be a lot of blowback if that does happen. And
100%, there's going to be a lot of blowback. And I appreciate the call, Steve. I don't know. I don't agree with boots on the ground. You could probably convince me into some sort of special operation, but that would be like the boots were on the ground and then they were out of there. You know what I mean? Like 45 minutes tops. To Steve's other point on Russia helping out Iran, the president says that they haven't been giving them good intel up until this point.
Mr. President, can I ask you what Peter asked you a question yesterday? You said it wasn't the right time in that event, but he was asking whether you have indications of whether Russia is supporting Iran somehow in this.
No, I haven't had no indication of that whatsoever. If they are, they're not doing a very good job, because Iran is not doing too well.
11:33, Super Talk, 99.7 WTN.
I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast in 5 minutes. Operation Epic Fury. Stocks tumbling in early trading as oil prices soared above $100 per barrel in response to the war on Iran. ABC's Elizabeth Schulze covers the economy.
We are seeing just double-digit gains day after day here. Now oil at the highest level we've seen since 2022. And as we have seen, that very quickly translates into higher prices for consumers. That 50-cent increase per gallon on average. Many states we are seeing higher than that, and it is expected to keep going up as oil keeps going up.
Here in Middle Tennessee, Gas Buddy puts the average pump price at $3.16. That's up 51 cents since last month's average of $2.65. And the Justice Department has reached a settlement in its antitrust case against Live Nation and Ticketmaster. News Channel 5 says federal prosecutors had accused the company of running an illegal monopoly that drove up ticket prices and blocked competition. A person familiar with the deal says the terms haven't been released yet. The settlement comes as both sides were preparing for a trial in New York. And election 2026 in Tennessee, retired astronaut Barry Butch Wilmore is not going to run for Tennessee governor. Wilmore realized he doesn't meet the state's 7-year residency requirement since he's been living and voting in Texas while working with NASA. Political observers say his brief entry created buzz, but wouldn't have changed the financial advantage held by Tennessee U.S. Senator Marsha Blackburn and 6th District Congressman John Rose. Both remain the frontrunners in the Republican primary ahead of tomorrow's qualifying deadline. And Tennessee Congressman Tim Burchett says Congress should stay out of the fight over college sports rule changes. His comments come as President Trump prepares an executive order targeting NIL and transfer policies. Burchett says Congress needs to stay away.
Thinking about this NIL thing, people are saying, Burchett, what's Congress going to do about NIL? What are they going to, when are they going to fix it? You know what Congress needs to do about NIL? Absolutely nothing. When was the last time we fixed a dadgum thing? Oh, let's fix education. No. Hey, let's fix healthcare. No. Let's fix insurance. No. We've made a wreck of everything, folks.
The White House expected to release President Trump's executive order by Friday. That's the latest news. Weather's next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
It's 11:38, Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, how are you? My name's Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by Better Water LLC. Water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. Do you feel like I disrespected our last two callers?
No, not at all. Why?
I got a text here. 5644. Disrespect, the number 2, your callers. Disrespect to your callers, only FSU, only FSU, and shows vor stupidity. I think it meant to say your stupidity, but I don't know. I just wrote back. I went, what? What? I don't know what you're saying.
You vor stupidity.
Many such cases. People don't think it be like it is, but it do. We got a lot to get to. We always have a lot to get to. I can't remember a day when we didn't have a lot to get to. So without further ado, just hit the sound effects. It's time for the lightning round.
It's the lightning round with Chris Hand.
With so much news, you might even have missed the fact that we had all of these world leaders from South America at Mar-a-Lago over the weekend, right? Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Were they at Mar-a-Lago or were they in Miami? They were somewhere. It was Florida.
Florida, Jason.
Florida, where freedom reigns and governors wear high heels. It's Florida.
Where freedom reigns and so does the rain.
Bring your boots. Bring your boots. That's their new slogan. Florida. Bring your boots. That's it. So first story in the lightning round. Quick on the lightning today. I thought we were going to be a bit more delayed because of daylight savings time.
No, I've been up since 4, so I'm ahead of time.
Dude, you are like living in the future.
The future waits for me.
How's that working out? It's pretty good.
It's working. I'm working.
Shield of Americas, the best shield. Marco Rubio over the weekend telling Latin America, it is time to obliterate the narco-terrorists and cartels under President Trump's shield of the Americas.
Very strongly on the opportunities we have to work together economically, but you can't have economic progress without security. And as evidence of the president's strong commitment to this initiative, so that this is not just going to be something where we meet one time and have conversations and we meet once a year and put out a paper. We want it to be an issue of action. He has appointed Secretary Noem as the special envoy dedicated to this relationship. And you will see a lot of her. She'll be very involved with each of you at a personal level and on a daily and weekly and monthly level to ensure that what we talk about here today and the work we do together continues on and we can build upon that. So I want to turn it over to our envoy who will be doing this, and she'll be running our program. And again, thank you really, truly for joining us in this, what I think is a very historic gathering.
I mean, the gathering is historic. Make no mistake about it. You have many, many countries coming from South America. The directive is clear. No more narco-terrorists, no more cartels running South America. And it seems like everybody got their marching orders. President Trump, he pushed them to take these savages and these murderers seriously and remove them from society. He said, we can't just allow these guys and our criminal justice systems to be corrupted and then these monsters to be protected. This was President Trump over the weekend.
The savages who murder and rape with impunity must be permanently removed from society. We must not allow our criminal justice systems to be corrupted so that they protect these criminals and animals at the expense of your people.
He right. I mean, we know the corruption that goes down through South America. We saw El Mencho, who just got taken out, the New Jalisco Generation Cartel leader. He had everything written down. He had bribes to judges. He had bribes to cops. He had bribes to elected officials, and he kept very good records of all of that. We need to get tougher on crime in South America. And Nayib Bukele, Javier Milei, these are the guys to help us get it done. Pete Hegseth said, with our shared heritage and civilization and culture, we need to be working together as Christians.
President Trump and the American people rejected that in our own. We don't have to live with communities flooded with drugs or violence or cartels and gangs. We can seal our border, and we have to for our citizens. We share a hemisphere and geography. We share cultures, Western Christian civilization.
Amen.
We share these things together. We have to have the courage to defend it. And we have a commander-in-chief in our country who's set that compass heading. And at the War Department, we look forward to working with all of your countries and more that are not here to say, with our shared assets and our intelligence and our capabilities, with American leadership, we will go on offense against the cartels. They will know that we're just around the corner. Whether it's drug boats or on land, we look the America's Counter Cartel Coalition, the ACCC, President Trump.
That's Hegseth saying, together we can do all of this. And with our shared civilization and culture, we should be working together. And now we have President Trump in office who's going to help these countries. And President Trump maybe delivered the line of the meeting of the Shield of Americas when he said this.
And Tara, and some of you are in danger. I mean, you're actually in danger. It's hard to believe. But we're working with you to do whatever we have to do. We'll use missiles. If you want us to use a missile, they're extremely accurate. Boom, right into the living room. That's the end of that cartel person.
Sign me up, bro. Sign me up. When can we start bombing the living rooms of cartel leaders? We probably should already be doing it. We should probably already be doing it. Hopefully it happens soon. Got another show for you here in the lightning round. Update on the SAVE Act. Many people want to get this done. Senator Mike Lee has been laying the hammer down, asking why would we waste any time, even if there are other legislative priorities we want to tackle, why would we waste any time when it comes to the SAVE Act? Well, we still are getting the feet draggers. Tom Tillis is one of them. Have you seen Tom Tillis out there lately? The Republican from North Carolina.
Republican.
The one that he really loves conservative dog parades. No gay dogs. Only conservative dogs.
Him and John Thune, session with dogs is weird.
What is up with that?
I'm not a fan.
We don't have any time to secure America's elections, but hey, check out my schnauzer.
You see my Shih Tzu?
I'm about to lose my Shih Tzu.
Oh.
Senator Chuck Schumer has announced that the Senate Democrats will 100% block the Save America Act and guard against illegal alien voter fraud. He says the Senate Democrats will not help pass the SAVE Act under any circumstances. It's Jim Crow 2.0. You know that. Everybody knows that. Senator John Kennedy predicts that it will actually pass the U.S. Senate and go to President Trump. He's floated making it part of the reconciliation, so that way he can pass with 50+1 votes. Talking filibuster works as well. Do it whatever way you need to do it and get it done. Senate GOP's number 2 leader, Senator John Barrasso, has opened the door to the talking filibuster, which is the closest that we've seen to John Thune even leaning towards the talking filibuster being the move.
To support a talking filibuster to get the SAVE Act to the floor. Will you and John Thune do it?
That's one way to do it. Members are having meetings right now to say what's the best way that we can actually get this passed. I met with the president at the White House about 10 days ago, the day before the bombing started in Iran, to work on finding the best path forward. We need to get this passed. We need to get it signed into law. I'm a full supporter.
Full supporter. Doors cracked open for the talking filibuster. Why on earth would we need to pass the SAVE Act? I mean, guys, illegal aliens aren't voting in our elections.
Canadian accused of illegally voting in southeastern North Carolina for decades. Federal prosecutors say Dennis Bouchard, originally from Canada, lives in Wilmington, but he never became a U.S. citizen. They say he lived in the area most of his life since he was a child. Prosecutors allege he's voted illegally in New Hanover and Pender counties for more than 20 years, now facing federal charges for voting in the 2022-2024 elections. Our sister station in Raleigh asked prosecutors why he's just now being charged for those 2 elections if they believe this has been going on as long as it has, but they would not answer.
Okay, so it happens, but it's so rare, you guys. Like, that's just one Canadian who's been voting in American elections for like 20-something years, right? Like, this isn't a pattern. Nobody would ever accuse us of being like a pattern of repetition and like stuff that happens all the time, right?
Attorney in the Eastern District of Pennsylvania arrested a 50-year-old man from Mauritania who's not a citizen, is illegally here in this country, who voted 5 times. 5 elections, or allegedly voted in 5 elections. So this is exactly why we need to bring about confidence. So
that's Senator Dave McCormick. Okay, so it happens. Big deal. Big deal. Again, everybody knows why the Save America Act must be passed. That is, everybody except for Senator Tom Tillis. He spent his weekend talking about members of the cabinet that need to be fired on CNN. I kid you not. I kid you not. This is a Republican senator. And instead of doing what the American people voted Donald Trump into office to get done and working within that mandate, he's on networks that oppose him talking about firing cabinet members, in particular Stephen Miller.
Do you think Stephen Miller should go?
Oh, of course I do. I think Stephen Miller is one of the. Not only does Stephen really want to just paint a picture, he's not worried about substance, he's more worried about form, but I also think that he has an outsized influence over the operations of the cabinet.
Oh, okay. So you're mad, you're a little butthurt that Stephen Miller has a little bit more influence inside the Trump administration than one Senator Tom Tillis. Is that what's going on here? Probably. Got another story for you here in the lightning round. Dude, this one's nuts. Not politics related, but pretty cool. There was a marathon happening in Los Angeles over the weekend, and it was the closest finish ever. You had this Kenyan guy running, and he is light years in front. And then, out of nowhere, an American citizen by the name of Nathan Martin flies up behind him and beats him by 0.01 seconds.
Wait, is he within eyesight from us?
He's in the last, I don't know.
Here he comes.
He comes right now.
Here he comes. So let's get right back down to the finish line so we can watch Michael cross the line here. Michael Kamau from Kenya.
Just over 2 hours and 11 minutes on the clock.
Oh, whoa.
Nathan Martin.
Oh, my gosh. Wow.
And it is a photo finish for crowning of the 2026 A6 LA Marathon champion.
I'm not sure.
Out of nowhere, because we can only see just a little bit beyond.
We have to see that playback to see exactly what happened there.
USA! USA! USA!
That's wild.
Isn't that sick? I don't really get jazzed up about running, but when I do, it's a small clip about the end of the race.
Yeah.
Do you think anybody watches the whole 2-hour marathon?
I don't even the people there don't watch it the whole time.
No. Dude, he beat him by 0.01 second.
Dude was hauling it.
He was hauling. And I'm going to show this video to my boys because the Kenyan, he keeps looking over his shoulder and watching the guy coming up on him. Don't look behind you. Don't look at the ball. Just keep running.
Just push.
Just keep running. But wild story. Absolutely wild. I had one other story that popped up, and I'll mention it briefly. The doomsday fish has been spotted
in the lightning round.
2 massive deep-sea oarfish washed up onto shore in Cabo San Lucas, Mexico. This is known as the doomsday fish.
Okay.
In Japanese folklore, it signals that if you see one wash up, you're going to get an earthquake soon.
Oh, no.
So this one couple were like, oh, my gosh, look at this fish. And it's like a scary-looking fish.
I would bet if it's called a doomsday fish.
It's a scary-looking fish. I'm going to put it on the screen for you in case you're watching on Super Talk TV. Scary-looking fish. And, I mean, dude, way bigger than these 2 ladies trying to push it back into the ocean. Like, if they laid down side by side, these women are, what, 5'4"? That fish is longer than them.
Oh, that's a monster.
It's a monster of a fish. So they're trying to push it back into the ocean, and they succeeded. They got the doomsday fish back into the ocean, and then they immediately noticed another one washed up just like a few feet away.
What's scaring the doomsday fish out of the water?
That's what people want to know.
That's what I want to know.
Earthquakes incoming, according to Japanese folklore, which we don't necessarily approve or deny on the Chris Hand Show. If we're gonna lean into folklore, Japanese isn't our top.
No, I'm gonna stick with the aliens that Obama confirmed.
Yeah, I think Japanese folklore would be top 10.
Yeah, it's up there.
It's an ancient civilization.
But we got cool cryptids here.
Is it cooler than Johnny Appleseed? Paul Bunyan? No.
I don't know.
So if there's an earthquake in Mexico here in the next couple days, it was the oarfish. 11:53. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here from my friends at the Wellness Institute of Nashville. If you're dealing with back pain, neck pain, sciatica, herniated or bulging disc, spinal stenosis, or you got some numbness and weakness in your arms, legs, fingers, toes, you don't have to live that way. And the Wellness Institute of Nashville has my seal of approval on this deal that could absolutely change your life. We're talking about 47% off non-surgical spinal decompression today, right now. Plus, the Wellness Institute of Nashville is the first and only office in the state of Tennessee with a brand new device called the HydroWave. This technology is going to stimulate your own stem cells for healing at the cellular level. Pair that with robotic lasers, anti-gravity machines, cryotherapy, and this is as advanced as it gets. This is why Dr. Mitchell needs to be your doctor. Bring your MRI. They'll take x-rays if needed. He'll walk you through exactly what's happening and give you a real treatment plan to fix the problem. A pain-free life is within reach. It starts with a phone call, 615-246-5009, 615-246-5009, or hit the website, painisbad.com. That's painisbad.com.